My kids said they're going to get this, and they're going to go educated here, and this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, things tighten up. It's pretty difficult to back off, isn't it? Right? And usually what it takes is outside forces. And like I know in South Africa, they got a guy there named Tito Mboweni. And he's the governor of the Reserve Bank. And he helps the people there. Because what he does, he jacks the interest rates up. You got a central bank. Okay? You'd have the same thing here. So if we're spending too much, all of a sudden put the interest rates up, right? And to try to slow you down. And put up a little higher, and all of a sudden your bond payment is 50% more than it was a year and a half ago. You got less cash. So what happens is that takes, and it begins to slow us down. And you see that in a worldwide situation. And all of a sudden, very quickly, credit and cash began to dry up because things were flying and they looked like they were going to go here. So we were planning that it was going to go here. If credit and cash dry up, you get bulging inventories, don't you? Because the buying power isn't there that you thought was going to be there. So you get bulging inventories, which automatically slows down production. So production slows down. It has to slow down. Because there's no demand, because there's bulging inventory sitting there, and they can't take any more inventory. This is what happens. Prices begin to slip, a little worry kicks in, buying dries up a bit more, people begin to lose confidence, and the negative news really hits it because negative news sells newspapers. Negative news gets you to watch the news on television. Because it's sensational, it only makes sense that they report that. They're in the business of doing it. People begin to lose confidence, layoffs begin, you get more worried, and believe it or not, towards the bottom of a cycle, savings begin to build. And I'll guarantee you, when things get tight for you and your family, okay, all of a sudden, and you're a little worried about the future, you'll start putting your pennies aside. Okay, where when you're positive and on a roll, most of us don't put money aside, do we? We spend it. If it looks like it's going to be tight, we then begin to watch out, okay, with our money. And savings begin to build, people put off buying, you get excessive fear, then all of a sudden you get a panic at the bottom, which we're seeing worldwide right now. And how do you tell that at the bottom of an economy? It's the opposite to the top. Excessive pessimism. When everybody around the world and around the various countries are excessively pessimistic about the future, then you know you're at the bottom. And by the way, the government doesn't, the statistics people, they're analytical. They got to be careful. They will tell you you're out of a recession 6 months after you're out of it. Right? They don't gamble on it. And so you say excessive pessimism, and what does that look like? What that means is when you phone up one of your friends who's in business, and you say, how's business? And the person says, it's so bad that the people that don't even pay their bills have stopped buying. That's bad. Okay. Yeah, you can't even get the guys that don't pay their bills to buy. So we're getting really tough, okay? Now, what turns an economy as it's swinging down here? It's called smart money. It's those people who've got capital that have been here before. And they know, who's ever heard, that the best time to buy anything is at the bottom of an economic cycle. The best time to buy anything, to buy somebody's house, is when they're in dire straits and they want to sell it and they're going to have the money within 2 weeks. Okay? Right? So when people are panicking at the bottom is when you buy. So you've got people that have been around before. You've got the Raymond Ackermans, you've got the Patrice Mosipis, you've got the people that look and they got the cash and they start looking, and it's a good time to have cash. Would you agree? Okay, and so this little bit of buying starts to happen, and I see him do it, and I think, gee, he's a pretty smart guy. I'm not sure what he's doing, but I think I will. And then somebody watches me, and instead of it going down here, enough of us follow each other, it creates a bottom. And that's what you have. Okay? And you hit a bottom. Now, why is down here much more positive than being up here? There's nowhere to go but up. Okay? I'll tell you, this is bad news when you're here. Because that's swinging. Down here, it means the turn. Now, usually you get a leakage of good news slipping in to the media. And you'll pick up on things. Was around the world, the election of Barack Obama, was that a positive sign? Absolutely a positive sign. Worldwide. Okay, for people. And there's certain things that are happening. You can go into any newspaper. At the time that car sales were down 23%, and it was hitting the headlines in South Africa, I went into the same newspaper and found out that export sales for the same period was up 45% for automobiles. But it wasn't in the headlines. I picked up that the sparkling wines, sales were up 100%. Wasn't in the headlines. And so you almost have to look for it because the media, they report more of the sensational stuff. And they're just like you and I. I mean, I've got to protect the media on this thing. Because how many people in here gossip? Anybody here gossip? Do you gossip in the community? Do you gossip in work? Okay, I know you guys don't. How many people have friends that gossip? Just out of interest. Okay, and I'm sure it's the friends. It's other people that gossip. Now, when it comes to gossip, how many people here hear quite often really good, positive gossip about other people, and people talk behind their back about good things about them? Yeah. But how many hear people gossiping the real juicy stuff behind people's back? Yeah, like you could be quite impressed with me, and then the person next to you says, listen, I knew the guy 10 years ago. You ought to hear a few stories about what he used to be like. Everybody would wait around just to hear it. Okay? And that's what happens. And say the same thing. And media, in a way, is gossip. Sure, it can be factual. But it's there, and we're going to go for the negative gossip and spread the news faster than we are the positive. Okay? And that's really the reality. Now, when you hit the bottom, what happens is that you will get that turn. There will be a leakage of good news starting to come in. You'll get a little more buying, a little more hiring, positive news, more buying, more confidence, more hiring, more buying, higher prices. You'll get a fear of higher prices. You'll get a real demand. You'll get a really positive news. You scramble to produce, you scramble to buy, and guess what? You're over the top again. And you've seen it. You've seen here in your own country. We'll be up here, and then we'll come down here and go up here. Your life goes that way. Okay? I'm 63 years of age in calendar years. Okay? In calendar years. Let's make that correct. Okay? And I can tell you, and this gentleman over here, I would say you're at least over the age of 30, aren't you? Yeah. but the thing is that if you've been around for a while, and a lot of you just haven't been around that long, if you've been around for a while in business, you've seen a number of bottoms. Would you agree? At the age of 63, I've seen a lot of bottoms. And I mean economic bottoms. Okay, so just clean your head up. Big bottoms, little bottoms, I've seen all kinds of bottoms, okay? Now, the thing is, okay?
Top author, speaker, and entrepreneur, Bill Gibson from Canada, established Knowledge Brokers International in 1996. The vision was the exclusive offering of world-class training systems and processes to the corporate market world. Through the immediate acceptance in the marketplace of Bill Gibson's sales development, sales management, and personal marketing systems combined with results-based and sustainability-producing templates, KBI has developed the reputation of being the provider of the most comprehensive sales and sales management development and implementation systems available in the